You ever record an entire video and found out you hadn't recorded anything? Hi, my name is Miss Andrea, and this is not another homeschool vlog. Homeschooling is serious business. And if you are homeschooling your kids for any reason other than making sure they grow up whole, intact, joyous, and educated, then why are you doing it? For anyone who wants to homeschool for some kind of control over their kids, I encourage you to go to Reddit once a week and read a homeschool recovery story, because they are rough. And we're just going to go ahead and read the whole thing, and then we're going to comment on it. Okay. My parents started homeschooling me before I was old enough to even think, because my older brother was autistic and had bad experiences in school due to it. It was preschool or kindergarten, so I assume it was the late 2000s. As a small child, I enjoyed it. Going on vacation in fall, short school days, school games, being a kid. That was enough for me. And back then, my mom was better at keeping us on schedule. When I got older, around 11, I asked to be put in regular school or boarding. I just didn't want to be homeschooled. The answer to that should have been yes. We don't homeschool because of money, and when I was 11, we moved states. However, my mom didn't want to put me in schools for whatever reason. I kept asking, and when she was finally considering it, the pandemic happened. With the pandemic, she got worse about keeping school consistent. I resented her, but I understood it wasn't her fault. A global pandemic happened. Now I'm 16 in a day, and I have an elementary school education. I can't do math, I can't spell big words, and I have social skills and somewhat crippling social anxiety because I've never been able to socialize growing up. I did ballet, but we were encouraged to not talk in class. I can't even complain much because I have good parents. They just made stupid decisions with schooling. Every single day, I wish they did something different. But since they didn't, I have been cursed to a life of homelessness or marrying rich. I don't have life skills or an education, so I will never be able to get a good job. I'm too embarrassed by my sheer stupidity to get a tutor, and my parents won't hire one since my dad is one. I hate my dad for other reasons. He's not abusive or anything, but he acts like he's not. I wish my life could have been better or a little worse, so I had the right to complain. Homeschooling doesn't even sound like an issue. I feel whiny, complaining so melodramatically, but I literally full-on sob when I have to think about my education or future because of this. I have never had any real friends, and meeting teens is so hard. So if you go online like, I'm a teen girl who wants teen girl friends, you'll just meet pedophile men. Homeschooling is probably the worst decision my parents could have made for me. I have never complained about it to anyone else before outside of, haha, homeschooling makes me want to die. So this is all very long and confusing sounding. And I think I ended the post 6 times before continuing because I don't even know where to stop. It'd be so fine if my parents listened to me. But since they didn't, I'm stuck being stupid and skillless. The worst part is they probably agreed to let me do school if I was just a little more assertive or actually expressed how I felt instead of, can I just go to an actual school? I'm just so insanely and sad, and my emotions are completely invalid because I'm just a stupid girl with decent parents. I'm literally a kids' TV show comedic relief character. This entire thing is so whiny, but I just want to talk to someone about anything. I've literally only told AI how I feel, and AI doesn't get it. And even then, I can only articulate how I feel about it when I'm insanely upset. So when I complain to AI, it's just not the whole story. Edit. I wrote this while upset about college. There weren't any courses or careers I wanted that didn't require some form of high school diplomas. Since I am a sheltered, homeschooled kid, I didn't know community colleges in my state generally don't need one. While I'll never get back a childhood, I do get to go to college. I'm not trying to be anything fancy. high school, but my plans are taking cosmetology or culinary course since I'm already decent at those things. Maybe that would give me leverage. Since my parents are fairly wealthy, they'll likely pay for my college, even though in my state, you only qualify for financial aid if you graduated school. I don't get to be a lawyer or doctor like how I wanted as a stupid little kid, but those have still always been my third and fourth choices of a career. As I stated, my parents aren't insane religious people against school. They just wanted what they thought would be best. I would have been better off in the regular school system. I learned better in classroom environments, and I strangely feel a lot less anxious in them. Driver's Ed has an in-person class that I took. Go to some co-op once every other month. And while it is mostly little kids and homophobic teen boys, I still retain the general useless information taught there. Made me realize I like science. My parents made me think I hate it. People said I wasn't a bad writer, and I never noticed this. But I tend to write slightly better when I'm passionate. This is just clarifying my melodramatic post. My life is fine. I just thought I couldn't get into any college, which would be the end of my personal life. Jobs that pay well, don't require degrees, would burn me out fast. This kid's an excellent writer. For 16, they probably right above what their grade level would be. Punctuation is impeccable. I saw 2 small spelling errors, commas, parenthesis, punctuation, dashes. All that punctuation is impeccable. Even the swear words were well placed and not gratuitous, but used just enough to drive home the point. This kid is a good writer. I'm going to take a wager and say they're not as stupid as they think. And shame on the parents for letting them think that. Shame on the parents for not articulating why they didn't want the child to go to school and then offering enrichment and more one-on-one time with kids that would have made the child feel better about themselves. I'm not saying that when a child comes to you and says, I want to go to school, that you have to send them to school. I'm saying you need to look at why the child is saying this. And if school is not an option for you, for whatever reason, be it location, or you just feel the child needs something else, you need to adjust what you're doing so that the child becomes content, because a discontent child is going to be a poor learner, right? Shame on the universe for this child being 11, 12 when COVID happened. You know, I counsel a lot of public school kids, especially from 2019 to like 2022. And they all were set back big time by COVID. And the kids who were supposed to graduate that year and got these little crappy graduations graduated this year and probably still got graduations because of all the boycotts and rallies and mob things going on campuses. Like, these kids are just getting a raw deal after raw deal. So, you know, but a lot of homeschooling parents made that COVID time more fun and more enriching by finding more things to do and being creative. It sounds to me, based on the fact that mom slowly got bad at homeschooling, that mom was dealing with burnout that she wasn't addressing, and maybe depression, especially if the kid's saying dad just full on sucks. A husband who full on sucks is going to affect the mom's morale, which is going to affect the kids. And that's bad in a homeschooling environment. And it's called Homeschooling Has Ruined My Life. It's not that hard to find. The post is just 3 days old. Then maybe you take this as an opportunity to reevaluate some things and figure out how to have your children be content if you're not going to put them in a traditional school, right? So I read these often because I feel it's important to me as someone who, I'm well done homeschooling. My youngest child turned 28 last week, and my oldest child turns 30 next week. So I'm good. But I will have grandchildren eventually, maybe. But I work with homeschool kids, and The day I'm not passionate about what I'm doing is the day that I don't belong in that classroom, right? And so this is a constant reminder to me to always keep that passion up, to always be thinking of the best interest for the child, to always have conversations with parents when I see children losing their zest for learning, to figure out what we can do, to meet that child where they're at, right? But meanwhile, for this child, and they got a lot of good advice. At 16, writing like that, you're good. If you feel insecure about your math, go to Khan Academy. Go into elementary math. It tests you grades 1 through 5. And you probably just go ahead and take the course challenge, and you'll test through it. You'll probably get a really good score, and it'll show you areas where you're weak. Do those chapters, retest again, boom, done. You'll be done with that in 2 months, okay? And then take, you can take 6th grade math and 7th grade math, or you can just jump into pre-algebra. That's up to you. Pre-algebra, then algebra, then geometry. At that point, go to the community college. The younger you show up at the community college, the better. If your mom hasn't kept good paperwork, you're going to need a GED, which means you're going to have to sit through in my state, you have to sit through a course if you're under a certain age, and that course prepares you for the GED anyway. Take the GED, and then slide into the course you want. I say aim higher. I say get a Gen Ed diploma, the 2-year Gen Ed associate's degree, because that will prepare you for 4-year college, in case you decide you like this college thing and you want to get a 4-year degree in something. Take the 2-year, and when you have the 2-year associate's degree in Gen Ed, or maybe in business, because maybe you want to own your cosmetology shop, then get your certificate and whatever you need to get it in so you can go ahead and start your business. But this kid seems kind of brilliant. I'm sad that they have been made to think otherwise. So if you're a homeschool parent and you see this happening in your house, maybe think about this. If you are starting to burn out, homeschooling parent, think about that. And check out Homeschooling Recovery, because it's important to hear from young people who maybe didn't enjoy the process, to make sure that you are on the right track. Yeah. Till next time.